Wait, what? You want a coaster for this?
I do.
Well, I don't have I Shoot Raw coasters yet.
You need I Shoot Raw coasters.
This is so awkward. This is why I don't like tables.
I feel like I'm talking to you, but you're the camera.
I know, but I could be like, oh, I'm talking to Steven. I'm gonna look at this camera.
And I'm gonna look at yours.
And then, hey, Steven. But see, that's why I don't like this setup. And we'll explain people this setup in a minute to those people, you people at home.
What anyway, do you mean, you people?
You people.
Yeah, what do you mean, you people?
I mean, you people at home. All right, let me do my intro.
I can see Sutter.
Hey,
I know, it's like, hey, there's Sutter. All right, intro time. Jared Polin, FronosPhoto.com. Welcome to RAWtalk, episode number 124. That's right. You can check out all the information, being that I forgot to say it last episode, until the very end at FronosPhoto.com/RAWtalk-124. You can find all the photo news stories and more. So why are we set up? Well, first off, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Sutter, how are you?
I'm good. Hanging out in the back here.
Yeah, over there. So why do we have a different setup today? No, we didn't change anything. It just so happens that Todd Wolfe and I are filming the Fronos Photo Guide to Video Editing. Correct? I got it right. Video editing.
You're making the title.
No, it's the Fronos Photo Guide to Video Editing.
Not editing video?
Well, no, because you know why it's not editing video?
Why?
Because it's not editing photos.
Doesn't make sense.
Photo editing. Got it? And
well,
so then,
I mean, you could say it either way still.
You could, but we left it that way.
That makes sense.
So what we're doing is we have our setup all ready to go for what we've been doing for the latest video guide. We have all the lights set up. We've got the table. We've got this TV behind us. So we figured, why not just do it right here instead of doing it over there, and everything's already set up. We've got 3 Canon cameras here. We've got this one. We got this one. We got this one. We got the Pocket Jib Pro. We've got people watching at home on Meerkat Live. I don't think Meerkat's going to actually last. I think that's going to die out pretty darn quick.
Hi, Meerkat.
And we got the Pocket Jib Pro right here, and Sutter's right there, and the GoPro's over there. Anyway, any questions?
No questions, sir.
No questions about what we've been doing?
What have you been doing all week?
Well, I mean, you were here.
Pretty much said that, but
you were here for a couple days.
Well, my only concern about this whole setup is we didn't really change anything at all. It's kind of all set up where you guys were standing during the guide when you were talking, where we're sitting here. So if the angles are a little off,
they better not be off.
I'm not going to mess with the tripods. That's the thing.
Well, did it look good?
Yeah, they're fine, but they're just a little higher than we normally shoot at. That's all.
Does it look bad?
It looks fine.
Why are you giving me a complex?
Looks terrible.
I'm just
so bad.
Prefacing for when you yell at me later. Get out of my angle.
I don't want to get out of your angle. Anyway, that is the reason that this is all going on. So coming up later on in this Raw Talk, I had Todd Wolfe sit down in this chair to talk about the Fronos Photo Guide to Video Editing and also talk about the game show video. We haven't talked about that since we haven't had a Raw Talk since that went live.
That's true.
That game show video was awesome.
We shot that, and that was up within like a day. Todd got
2
that
days.
done.
2 or 3 days. We shot it on a Wednesday?
Yeah, because it was right before Raw Talk.
Yeah, it wasn't on a Friday.
It was a Wednesday.
It was a Wednesday. Okay, yeah. And yeah, I went to Party City. I got all the goodies.
All the poppers.
Confetti and poppers and balloons that we didn't even use, but I blew up.
Release the balloons. Well,
Dude, I blew up like 30 balloons, and we used like 5.
Well, Dan didn't do a good job releasing the balloons.
Dan did a terrible job of releasing the balloons.
But anyway, that was a great episode. I mean, watching that, it looked like a real TV show.
That was fun. And we did that straight through.
We did.
No stopping, really, at all.
Well, no, but Todd used the art of editing.
He did.
To make it look awesome.
He's good like that.
And speaking of, do you know what he used during that time?
What did he use, Jared?
Oh, well, this is where he used audio blocks and video blocks. Honestly, if he didn't use audio blocks or video blocks for the guide, for the game show, it would have just been boring. It would have been like cricket sounds, you know? And so I saw that. I'm like, well, that's an easy plug to do this week. That's why we're talking about audioblocks.com, videoblocks.com, and Graphics Stock. We've worked a deal out with them, which is great. They support our show. We've been supporting them. We've used them before we even worked together with them.
I used them in some of the unboxings that I edited this week, actually.
Oh, did you? Oh, that's what you've been doing while I've been here.
Correct. Well, I was here. I did some behind-the-scenes photos the first day, and then I came back for some production stills, and then I edited for about 2 days.
Right.
So videos we had to catch up on.
So here's the plug part of the show. We use audio blocks. If you watched the game show at all, you will know where all the audio came from and where all the extra video came from as well. All of the overlays and the confetti and the stars, that came from video blocks. And the extra audio, the game show, Todd went on to audio blocks and was like, game show music or just game show, and bam, 15 songs came up. So it's perfect for video editing and exactly what you need. So if you're interested in audio blocks, you can go to audioblocks.com/go/fro. Video blocks is videoblocks.com/go/fro. And graphic stock is graphicstock.com/go/fro.
Whoa.
That all makes sense. So what they're doing right now is they do the 7-day free trial. Did I talk about this already?
You talked
in
about
Todd's
it
interview?
in the interview coming up.
Right. Yeah, but I'm going to reiterate again that it's a 7-day trial. You have to enter your credit card information. They don't charge you until after the 7 days, but at my recommendation, cancel your trial before the 7 days is over, because if you don't, they're going to charge you it's going to be $79 a month. But if you cancel it before the 7 days, they send you an email and it's like, hey, we'd love to have you. Let's pay $99. So they also offer a $99 option straight up. If you went to just audioblocks.com, you could get a $99 offer. You could go do that right now, but the reason you go to audioblocks.com/go/fro is because that triggers something. That lets them know that they came through us, and that helps us. And so when it helps us, it helps you. In terms of helping you, it means we can go to Vegas.
Do these mobile RAWtalks.
Well, yeah, mobile RAWtalks, or just the game show type videos cost more money to make. It just all costs more money to do a higher production value, and that's why when you support the people we talk about, like Rode microphones or Atomos, or in this case, audio blocks, video blocks, and graphic stock, it helps us to keep going. One way or another, it helps us to keep going. So thank you guys for supporting us by supporting the people that support us. It's kind of like a bra.
A what? A bra?
A bra.
It supports us?
What supports us? Isn't that what bras support?
I guess they support
Or they
them,
lift and separate. Which one?
Push bras?
Aren't they the worst? Aren't they the worst push-up bras?
I don't know. They're kind of like a lie.
You know what's the worst lie of all for girls? Tight pants.
Yoga pants.
No,
yoga pants are actually pretty true.
Well, no, not unless they're like those Spanx.
Spanx? You love them.
Well, no, but the problem is it's very misleading. You get the girl home, hypothetically, because this hasn't happened to me. Hypothetically,
sure.
And then the pants come off, and then the ass drops like 4 feet.
Is that what happens when you take your skinny jeans off?
Absolutely not. Would you like to see what happens when I take
don't want to see.
I will take my jeans off. Right meow.
Right meow.
Everyone on Meerkat.
Right meow.
For everybody on Meerkat, I'll take my jeans. But no. Anyway, I'm sure Audio Blocks is going to love that I talked about bras and asses dropping 4 feet. But I don't think that matters. If you want to find a sound effect to happen when a girl's ass drops, can you find one and put it in right now?
Sound effects of a girl's ass dropping, you're saying?
Just a sound of something dropping. Like,
okay.
Make a note, Sutter. Don't make a note. Will you remember?
Fine,
all right. So he's going to put a sound. That's what I love about Audio Blocks is I always just say pick a sound effect. That's the cool part.
It's a great thing.
Well, not for you because you have to edit it. But,
well, I don't mind it though. It's super easy to just look it up, and as long as you have the right term to search, it's fine.
Anyway, check them out. Support us. Take care. Like, they help us. It helps you, and it helps everybody. Keep on keeping on.
By the way, I'm looking at your notes. There's not much there.
No, there's not much. Well, because
usually you got like pages and pages. I feel like.
Well, that's if we have flying solo.
Well, even in your regular notes, aren't there usually at least 2 pages?
Well, no. It's usually the top page is everything. This is more like a half a page.
Yeah, it's very light.
That's because we're not doing Wheel of Fro this week because we couldn't wheel it over here.
Wah, wah.
We could have done sound effect.
Sound effect.
No, we could have, but it would have been a pain in the butt to get it back, and we didn't want to move anything. So we'll make that up. But next week we're going to Chicago. On Tuesday we're doing RAWtalk. It's actually sold out. I oversold tickets, but it's sold out.
Wait, how much did you oversell?
Well, they said that I could have 68.
And what, you put
73.
Like 80?
No, 73.
So
because I thought it was 70.
Standing room.
There will be some standing room,
It's
but
not
it's
terrible.
The fire marshal bill, you just have to be careful with the fire marshal stuff.
Hopefully he doesn't come stomping in.
But I told them how many we had, and they said that's perfectly fine. That will be okay.
Good.
But that's great. Thank you guys for doing that. And the reason, we charge $10 for tickets, but at the door they'll get a free lens cloth and $5 towards a drink.
So you get $10 worth of stuff. That's great.
Basically. And
St. Patty's Day.
And I took care of the fees, so nobody had to pay a ticket fee. I actually paid the $1.43 that was the ticket fee on that $10.
Ah.
So you see how that works?
Interesting. I'm gonna be hammered drunk.
Maybe.
Hey, brother. Hey.
Jared's serious face. What?
Who's going to carry the
I
show?
keep forgetting to look at my camera. I feel like that's, I don't know, there's so many different cameras.
I'm just
this
looking
week.
out here.
Whatever.
I haven't even looked at my camera either.
It's weird. You usually always do.
So, I don't know. I was going to talk about this, but I'm not going to. Why don't we get into photo news?
Photo news this week. It's weird because I can't, talk to you.
Well, we can talk. You can talk to me like this if you want.
Hey, what's up? By the way, before I get into photo news, I
Yeah.
did want to talk about, did you see Nightcrawler?
What's that?
It's the new movie with Jake Gyllenhaal where he's like kind of like a TMZ style shooter. Video-wise, and he's running around to like these breaking news scenes where like an accident happens or something.
It looks cool. I saw the preview. I didn't see the actual movie. Your highlighter fell
off.
Gosh darn it!
Sutter.
Sutter. I was recording. I was Nightcrawler.
Well, Sutter was going through the town. No, Jake Gyllenhaal basically plays this like super creepy guy who finds out a way to make easy money, kind of like TMZ style, filming these breaking news and then selling this breaking news footage to news stations, and then they buy it for a ton of money and blah blah blah. Anyway, you got to watch it. It's really interesting, especially if you're a photographer.
What's the point?
The point, I can't give it away because the point comes at the end. But basically,
wait, did you watch the movie?
I watched the whole movie.
Oh, I thought you were just talking about the trailer.
No. I'm saying if you you can watch the trailer, but
does it involve panal?
What is that, Jared?
That's Todd's favorite term. Don't Google it.
Do not Google it. No, but it's just a very interesting movie, especially if you're a photographer, and I was just kind of blown away by Jake Gyllenhaal. Just such a creep in it, dude. You gotta watch it.
So what does that have to do with photo news?
I just wanted to bring it up because it has to do with photography, and this is a photography podcast, so I wanted to bring it up.
Oh, that's right, it is.
It is.
All right, Stephen.
Wait, this is a photography.
Wait, we talk about what is photography?
All right, photo news.
Photo news.
Did you save anything for Tuesday?
I did not, but we'll hopefully have some stories then. I'll get in touch with Jake Gyllenhaal. He'll give me some breaking news.
Yeah,
articles.
good. Go.
Photographer Ryan DeBoot flew his drone in the world's largest cave.
Is he Canadian? Is it D-E-B-O-O-T?
It's D-E-B-O-O-D-T.
DeBoot. Oh,
DeBoot.
He's not Canadian.
But he flew his drone in the world's largest cave and captured some awesome visuals. The Vietnam cave called Hang Son Doong. Not Canadian.
It's Hang Sung Dung.
Dung?
How do you spell the dung part?
D-O-O-N-G.
Oh, it's Doong.
Thank you.
Dong.
But it's huge. It's the world's it's the largest chamber. The largest chamber in there is 3.1 miles long and 660 feet high and 490 feet wide. It features a mossy jungle-like ground along with an underground river. The drone video, shot with a DJI Phantom 2 and GoPro Hero 4, is 6 minutes long and makes you feel like you're pretty much in the movie Avatar. The footage was shot in the two skylight areas.
Wait. Makes you feel like you're an avatar?
Yeah, because of all the grassy, crazy jungle-like
footage. Were there blue
footage
people?
There was not blue people.
And was there unobtainium, the worst name for...
Makes you feel like it, not like you're actually in it.
All right, that's better. Thank you.
But the footage was shot in the two skylight areas, which are about 2 miles inside the cave that feature light coming in from the outside. It's definitely a must-see. I mean, have you seen this at all this week?
9. I've been busy.
9?
9 times? You've seen it 9 times.
That would be 0 times.
Thank you, Sutter. But yeah, it's a really cool video. Great music to go along with it. It's awesome. Anyway, moving forward, the director in charge of the train track shoot Midnight Rider that killed crew member Sarah Jones last year has been sentenced to 2 years in prison.
Yeah.
And we actually talked about this
behind the scenes.
There was like 60 minutes of that, right? Or some sort of...
There was a whole bunch of stuff, yeah. For those that are not familiar with this story, him and his crew were filming on a narrow bridge, train track, when a train began to come around the corner, killing camera assistant Sarah Jones and injuring several crew members. The director, Randall Miller, pleaded guilty to involuntary manslaughter and has now been sentenced to 2 years in prison and 8 years of probation. Miller will also be required to pay a $25,000 fine, perform 360 hours of community service, and refrain from directing for the 10 years of his sentence.
Well, I don't understand that part.
Well, that's what I don't get too, is because can he technically be something else, like a AD or something?
Well, first off, they didn't have permission to be on the bridge.
No, but I'm going to get into that.
Okay,
too.
Go ahead.
So, the director, no, I already said that part. Now, in court, the train operator has shown evidence that they have refused permission. After the film's crew had requested it. So like you just said, the judge notes that he hopes that this day will contribute to your goal of sending a message of safety to the industry and give some meaning to this tragedy. So
yeah, didn't somebody get 10 years or did they
I think it was just the director, though.
Oh, he got... Yeah, I don't understand.
He got 10 years
that he can't work.
That he can't direct.
I don't understand that. What does... Yes, he did something stupid. Sorry, did something extremely stupid and somebody died.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have permission to be on it and you put everybody in danger, including the person who ended up dying. I get the jail term. That's cool. I mean, not cool, but I understand 2 years.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I understand probation, but I don't understand he can't direct anything. I mean, I don't understand that part.
He kind of has no job after he's out of prison.
Right. It's kind of like
for 8 years.
Did you do I mean, nothing's enough. Nothing's going to bring back the person that died on his watch.
I also feel like it's not completely the director's fault. I mean, the director half the time isn't in charge of this kind of stuff.
But unless he's the person that requested it, and he knew that they didn't have permission.
Yeah.
But he's the director. He's in charge, like a producer and everything. You know, you're in charge of this.
Yeah.
Anyway, next story.
And he did plead guilty to involuntary manslaughter. Another tragedy in the film industry. 10 people were left dead when 2 helicopters collided mid-air while filming a reality show in France this past week.
We talked about this on the set,
We did talk about this as well, yeah. Those among the deceased include 2 Argentinian pilots, 5 cameramen, and 3 Olympic athletes. The worst part is that the show was to be called Dropped, where they were to be dropped into nature to compete in an extreme reality game show. So this was only like day 1 of filming when this happened. But I'm not really sure what happened there. I mean, the one literally just kind of went right in the other one's path and collided and midair.
That's not good.
No, not good at all.
Were there any survivors?
No survivors. I mean, it was pretty high up. They were full on.
Yeah. Okay.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Then some of the crew guys were saying that the old timers told them that the old rule is never get in a helicopter.
What do you mean the old timers, like the old people in the reality shows?
I don't know what they just said. Never get in a helicopter. Now I've been in a helicopter to do a photo shoot, and it was fine. But man, oh man, you're in a flying coffin basically. If that thing has any
that's
issues.
the same as an airplane though, if you think about it.
That's true.
Well, there's 2 ways you can get out of it. With an airplane, you can glide, even if there's no engines.
Airplane expert.
But I could get the term wrong. With a helicopter, you can I forget what it's called. It's like over rotation or over something.
Over modulate, yeah.
I don't know. I forget what it is. But as you're falling, the propellers or the prop or oh my god, what is it called? Whatever. It spins and it'll slow the descent, but it's not going to stop anything.
Yeah, no. Yeah,
I mean, it's like an emergency safety routine thing. Because I have a friend that has this
with this, and unfortunately, there was like no hope. It looked like they were literally just colliding. Yeah, it's terrible.
All right.
Anyway, moving forward,
over rotation. I think that's
what it's called.
I don't know.
So not only is Instagram now making money off sponsored posts, but now their users are as well.
No way.
No way. Yahoo Tech published an article regarding sponsored Instagram posts and how certain Instagrammers are making thousands per photo by promoting products. New marketing agencies such as the Mobile Media Lab, a consulting firm that connects popular Instagram photographers with brands.
And takes a percentage,
I'm sure, to coordinate and execute paid promotional campaigns on there are making this possible. The company says that that high-end Instagram users who have more than 100,000 followers can earn $700 to $900 per photo, and better yet, if you have 500,000 followers, you could be charging $2,000 to $3,000 per image.
And that's why a lot of people tried to cheat the system and get a lot of subscribers,
which
and have fake followers.
Just dumped everything.
Well, yeah,
right?
they dumped them, but look. I rather have 100,000 followers,
real followers
that pay attention, and I have like 28,000 or 29,000. I rather have
nothing.
That's not a lot in the grand scheme of things. But you always get self-conscious. I would always get to, how do these guys have 100,000 and 300,000? And then you look and, well, some of them have a lot of Adam L. Macias does get a lot of feedback.
That's because that band, A Day to Remember, that he shoots for.
Well, and he's got a lot of he doesn't have photographers really following him. He has a lot of girls following him, fans.
Yeah. Yeah,
Sutter, what are you doing?
The band's fans, I would say.
Are you texting?
Rob Timko messaged me. It is auto rotation. Auto rotation.
There you go.
Oh, thanks, Rob Timko on Meerkat.
It worked out.
God, that's why we're live on Meerkat.
That is nice, though, to have that, like, to ask the audience right away, like, what's this? What's that?
Well, maybe
Thank you, Rob.
He sent me, like, a Wikipedia quote of, it said, if altitude permits, auto rotations may be used to recover from vortex ring state.
Yeah, I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, I totally don't like when vortex ring state happens, because when that vortex ring state happens, it's just you're totally left in a vortex of distress. Next photo news story.
Well, finishing on that one.
I don't even remember what it was called. Oh, right. Instagrammers making money.
Yes. Mobile Media Lab founder Brian DeFeo tells Yahoo Tech that some fashion-focused Instagrammers are able to get $8,000 for a single sponsored photo. I mean, you can pretty much make money anywhere these days.
Fashion's big money.
Fashion is very big money.
I have no problem. I mean,
speaking of fashion, see Zoolander 2 is coming out.
Two-lander?
Two-lander?
Well, did they announce a date for it?
No, but I mean, did you see the fashion?
I did. I saw the fashion
week in Paris.
Fashion week thing. That was funny.
Yeah, it was real funny.
I mean, it looked ridiculously good looking. You know,
blue steel.
Wait,
how do you do it?
No, this is I had to go to the right camera.
Oh yeah, my camera. definitely not doing it.
That's perfect for that's perfect for a podcast, by the way. For all the people at home that can't hear. Anyway, no, that's the nature of the world we live in, and you can't get upset with people making money off of a following.
No.
Like, there's. I sent you that article about the guy who aggregates music into playlists on Spotify,
which I loved, by the way.
It's great, and he's always adding new music.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a great article, and it's a guy named Song. I don't know what it was.
His name's Song.
Basically, he has a playlist, and he's got like 30,000 followers on it because he's always changing music. So what's going to end up happening is, bands are paying attention to what he's doing. Is that your foot, by the way?
Yeah, that was my foot.
All right, I hope it wasn't like downstairs and the guy getting angry.
No, that was my foot.
But he's doing.
Or was it?
He's doing the music aggregation, which means bands are paying attention to what he has to say because he's an influencer. So I don't know how he would monetize that right there.
Maybe put him in a specific playlist that matches that audience.
Right, and like, hey, why don't you aggregate a playlist for us based off the best music for this genre? Or he could do the best playlist for somebody like Bonnaroo comes to him and says, hey, we want you to aggregate this playlist. Or I don't think it's aggregate, but I forget what the word is.
I don't know.
Maybe somebody on Meerkat can text Sutter.
You can message me on Facebook. Oh God, I should have said that.
Go ahead,
man. That'll be funny.
Next.
But I did want to bring up when Instagram did dump, all those extra followers, those fake followers that people had. I was telling you that there was one radio DJ that used to work for the company I worked for when I was in radio, and he had like 50,000 followers or something. And I believe after that happened, it knocked him down to like 10.
Yeah,
he had a ton of fake. And I knew that he wasn't getting much because he would only have like 30 likes per photo.
Well, that's what you look at.
Yeah.
And the same thing happens if you go on Facebook and you look at some of the larger quote-unquote photo things on Facebook. Some of the people, they may have 500,000 followers, but you may see like 20 likes and 2 comments. If you ever see something like that on a massive scale where there's like 1 million YouTube subscribers or something, but you see no interactions, or there's that guy that wanted me to be on his show a long time ago.
That guy.
Yeah, I'm not going to say his name. I'm not going to give him the pleasure of that. But I went on it, and he's like, yeah, she's like, my last video had 250,000 views. So I looked, it did.
Oh,
but it really didn't have many comments. So I went on his hangout, and I did that. Because I'm like, all right, what do I have to lose? I'll do it. So then he puts it up, and it shoots up to like a 250,000 views in a matter of 2 days. But it had 0 comments. I have hate comments 12 seconds after I put up a video, so you got to know that's legitimate. So I dug into and did some more research into how this could happen, and I Googled people, buying YouTube views, and I found out, and I looked, and I found that you could see stats, and the stats said most of these views were coming from Facebook. So when I found this website that sold YouTube views, it goes, we keep them legitimate because they come from Facebook profiles, and I was like,
so how does that work? Do they actually make up a bunch of like?
I think they had. I don't know if it still works because anytime you get involved with any of that BS, it's going to get shut down at some point. But yeah, they would have multiple Facebook profiles set up all around the world, and they would basically just embed the videos there and just play them and just it's all bad. It's all bad. Anytime if you think you can game the system, it's going to bite you in the ass.
Oh yeah.
How's the clock looking?
2 minutes till reset, but we're looking good.
Wow, these are 30-minute clocks this week because it's Canon. So now we don't know about
better.
But we don't know about the batteries. All right, go ahead.
Rico returned 90,000.
Wait,
not Uncle Rico.
Uncle Rico?
Oh god. So predictable.
Napoleon?
But so they returned 90,000 photos to victims of the 2011 tsunami in Japan. The company's Save the Memory project began 4 years ago when that happened, right after the disaster. Now, the project found and restored 418,721 photos, returning 90,128 pictures to their rightful owners. They offered the first insight into the recovery process with behind-the-scenes images of their own. Now, here's how they did it. The first process was finding the actual images, simply picking them up from mud and debris. Warehouses were then used to house all the images. The photos were first displayed in the places where they first found them. So, for example, if they found them in a school, they would hang them up in like those hallways for a couple months. They then packed them up and sent them to the warehouses if they weren't picked. Now, workers helped clean the prints by brushing off dirt and washing the photos off with water. Washed images were then hung up to dry on nets using laundry pins. Once dry, the photos were digitized by individually scanning. Can you imagine scanning like freaking 400,000 and photos.
Well, they do that in India all the time.
Really?
I mean, it's cheap labor.
The images files were saved as JPEGs. Your favorite.
Well, whatever.
With a special control number that was assigned to each picture, the digital scans were then rotated to a correct orientation and trimmed to remove irrelevant parts of each image. Final shots were organized by region found and by category like people, landscapes, etc. Now, the original prints were inserted into protective plastic bags with their control numbers printed on them and then shipped back to the regions where they were found. Now, a number of photo centers were set up in each region to allow locals to access the database of digital files. People were then asked to browse through the digital database in search of photos they had lost. So it's much easier than actually physically going through, hundreds of thousands of images. Now, the company hopes that this record is useful for improving awareness towards disaster prevention or reconstruction support activities after the event of a disaster. Quite a serious recovery process, and kudos to Rico for actually putting this all together.
Obviously, thank you to those guys for doing that. And it brings up an interesting thing. A couple of weeks ago, the guy from Google's like, you want to have physical prints, and not digital. Well, in this case, if they were in the cloud,
one of the fathers of the internet, right?
Right. If they had the files, they could obviously save them. I mean, whatever. Great thing that Rico did there to get people their photos back. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Next up, we have a photographer named Vanessa Hicks is getting quite the hate mail this week after she used an American flag as a prop for a baby photo. Did you see this?
I saw the photo, and I saw that people were giving her hate.
They were.
Now, I want to hear the story first before I chime in with my 2 cents.
All right. Well, the image is of a member of the U.S. Navy, decked out in his uniform and all, holding up his 8-day-old newborn named Landon in an American flag. Now, Hicks, who is a Navy veteran herself, says she wanted to honor the flag and incorporate the family's military background into the portrait. Makes sense. Let's see. One of the organizations not happy with the image is Facebook page You Call Yourself a Photographer, who shared the image with the following, saying,
how big's their following?
I'm not sure. I actually didn't check.
Can you look that up?
Sutter, it's called You Call Yourself a Photographer ?
Sure thing. ?
Now, they posted the image and said the following. They said, to use the American flag in such a way is disrespectful, rude, tacky, disgusting, and against the U.S. flag code.
What is the flag code?
I am not sure. Sutter, can you look
Wait, hold on.
I actually kind of know the flag
Hold up.
code.
Robert Timko, what is the flag code?
It's 4,800 people, so it's not many.
Isn't it more?
4,800. Why is anybody giving them any credence? All right, tell us what the flag thing is.
I mean, generally...
It's more just the burning and the...
Well, you can never let an American flag touch the ground.
I know
like
that,
a yarmulke.
Yeah.
You're never supposed to wear it as an
pants.
article of clothing, aka pants, t-shirt, whatever. Jean shorts.
No. The guy in
jean
Napoleon Dynamite, he's like, I wear the American flag on my pants. You don't want to roundhouse
Does he
kick.
have the bandana thing too?
Yeah.
I mean, those are like the general things. You're never supposed to use it for unintended uses. And I think
all right, so
it's generally...
Okay. I do want to know, wait, when you have to discard of a flag, do you burn it? Because I was told that you're supposed
a process that you have to do, but yes, overall.
Do you think he really knows this, or he's just full of shit? Because
I mean, my roommate told me that.
I'm a second
and he's pretty good
lieutenant
with
in
that.
Civil Air Patrol.
There you go.
Oi, Captain Sutter.
Lieutenant Sutter.
Lieutenant Dan.
That's the equivalent of Eagle Scout in
Wait.
Boy Scouts.
I was a safety in school. Does
is
that
this
count?
Boy Scout?
I was a safety in 6th grade.
I used to
What's
hang
this?
the flag.
I don't know.
A-hole?
What's this?
You got to do it below waist, so hit him back.
Bam.
All right.
Anyway.
We'll finish that story.
All right, so finishing the story, so Hicks then responded with her own lengthy post saying quite the opposite. It's a long read, so I'll let you guys pretty much read it for yourselves on the website. I posted the whole thing. You can check it out.
What'd she say? Paraphrase.
Basically, she said that she stands behind the image. At first, she was saying that like she doesn't. She's almost like saying that like she agrees with what they had to say and that she's starting to contradict herself and blah blah blah. And then she came back and she's like, "No, I stand behind the image." Blah blah blah.
All right, Sutter, if anybody says anything about the code and anything more, let me know. But here's the way I feel about it. It's one thing if it's out of context.
I agree.
In this context, it's a person who serves this country.
Makes sense.
Who's fighting for the flag, whose child is going into the flag. What if it was an 8-day-old baby, but the parent died at war, and this was the flag on the coffin? And that's the closest they were getting to the parent. Go ahead, Sutter.
The American flag is not to be used in a disrespectful, rude, tacky, disgusting way. It should never touch the ground.
Where's this coming from?
Rob Timko.
Oh, like Rob Timko.
I think
he is Google.
All right, I'm sure he took it from somewhere.
Okay, keep going.
Credible source. Wikipedia.
Hold on, I
keep looking at
accidentally
your camera, not
bumped
that
out of it. The flag should never touch anything beneath it, aka the ground. It should never be carried flat or horizontally. The flag should never be used as apparel, bedding, drapery. The flag should always be used in a manner where it won't be easily torn, soiled, damaged in any way.
Well, so there it could possibly be soiled.
I guess so.
Because it's a baby, but what else?
Anything
Anything
the flag
legitimate?
should never be used as a covering. The flag should never be used as a receptacle for receiving, holding, carrying, or delivering anything. So I guess that's where that was.
No, I'm going to call no. You know what? The way that I look at this, I'm going to keep saying that, is that this person had all the rights. They're fighting for our country, and based off of what you read, unless there's some, I mean, yes, it could be soiled, but the baby could be in a diaper, and it's not really carrying anything. It's just holding the baby. You know, for me, I think it's a good thing that they're doing. It's saying that they're proud of their country. First off, this person fights for the country.
And the photographer did too, right?
Right. I don't know what the photographer, was that a veteran?
She was a veteran as well, yeah, U.S.
Right.
Navy.
So of all the people to give shit to, the people that actually fought for the country, because I didn't go to war. I'm not in the army. I'm not Lieutenant Sutter here.
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm in the military. It's just an auxiliary. But yeah, keep going.
He's a Boy Scout.
Boy Scout.
But no, that's what I have to say. Of all the people to actually be okay with doing something, they respect it the most because they've put their life on the line. So I'm totally fine with them taking that baby photo with the parent.
Oh,
Yeah,
I agree 100%. I'm on the photographer's side on this one.
I'm the same way.
And so for you people, what's that Facebook called?
You call yourself a photographer? Question mark.
You call yourself a social media entity with 4,500 people following you? You have no say. All right?
Boom.
Bam, you
No, it's just I don't like that they're getting publicity because we shouldn't have even said it. But
You asked.
You know, whatever. Yeah, I did ask. I just don't like that. Who are they to say what is right or wrong? I think that anybody that has the people that can say something are the people that fight for the country that can say that there's something either right or wrong with it, and I think they're going to agree that they like it.
Now, ABC News also did a piece on the whole situation where there's like an interview with
What would
Hicks
Norman Schwarzkopf say?
behind the whole situation, and now they're calling it like cyberbullying.
No, fuck this.
Now, I just want to say, you call yourself a photographer, did come back and say, like, we didn't mean any harm and cyberbullying and blah, blah, all this crap and just our opinion.
I meant no harm by what I just said about you call yourself a photographer. This is not, they weren't cyberbullying. They were freedom of their opinion. I mean, that's what the flag stands for, is your freedom of speech within reason.
Yeah.
But, they weren't bullying her. And if you don't like something, don't read it.
That's true.
And ignore it.
It's hard to ignore an image, though, right away. On Facebook, it just pops up and you're like, what's this about?
It's like, bam.
Bam!
Bam.
My news
I mean,
feed.
that's what happens when you follow Robert Timko. So go follow Robert Timko
He
Photography.
said he'll be meerkatting on Saturday.
Ooh.
What's he
for
meerkatting?
his photo
Meerkatting.
shoot.
Which
That
photo
sounds-
shoot? Ask him
sounds
if it's the foxtail photo shoot.
I'm sure it is. He told me about
Foxtail,
that.
meerkat? What?
Ooh.
We'll tell you later about foxtail.
He'll tell me if it's the foxtail.
All right, go ahead. Let's go.
Oh, my God.
This is probably why I don't like being live, is because there's interaction.
So the woman
Distraction.
The woman who attacked the drone photographer that we talked about a few months back may have her charges dropped and record cleaned.
Keep going. I don't want to interrupt you.
Andrea Mears appeared in court, not Meerkat. She appeared in court in Connecticut and applied for accelerated rehab or a probationary period.
They tried to make her go to rehab. She said no, no, no.
No. In this case, she said yes, yes, yes.
Well, then in that case, she sings the Duffy song, whatever that yes, yes, yes Duffy song was. It was the exact opposite.
So in which or a probationary period in which she must stay out of trouble. After the period is over, Mears may have her third-degree assault charges dropped. A jury will determine if she's qualified for accelerated rehab, and her next court appearance is on July 9th. Now, the photographer who was attacked...
17 years old.
Yeah, 17
He
years
was a
old.
minor.
He looks like he's like 25.
She accosted a minor.
She accosted him.
She did.
Austin Howitt believes this is just a slap on the wrist. He says, if it had been a male that had been assaulting a female, the punishment would have been much more severe. And for the record, he says he's not a pervert too. Remember in the video the whole time she's like, "You pervert." Look, that ABC News or one of the news stations did. I think Fox did. Connecticut. They did a story on him, and they're like, "Are you a pervert, sir?" And he's like, "No, I'm not a pervert."
Fake news, yeah, faux news. Look, she should have to do a ton of. I understand not sending her to jail. Like that's one thing.
Yeah.
Like she should have never physically assaulted the kid.
Ripped his shirt.
And well, she physically assaulted him and accused him of doing something that wasn't wrong. She was wrong, and if he didn't film it, he could have ended up going to jail himself because she
pressed charges on him.
She
first.
lied. She should have to do community service, 300 hours of community service, and she shouldn't be allowed to do something for 10 years.
Judge Poland, everybody.
I should have my own show. No, but
where's your gavel?
Can
300.
Can you use the gavel sound from Audio Blocks?
Keep going. Hopefully there's a gavel sound.
I hope there's a gavel sound.
I'll just make it up. I'll do some Foley.
I don't agree with this. Advanced prohibition.
Accelerated rehab or a probationary period.
No. Next.
Did you say advanced prohibition?
Yes, I did. That means extra prohibition on something.
Gotcha. There's a behind-the-scenes photo shoot with Pharrell Williams in a tiny hotel room now online on the website.
Go ahead. I saw this. Go ahead.
He's wearing his hat, too.
Go ahead.
He's not this tiny little bellboy
Pharrell
hat,
is just a little bit, a couple of $1 million short this week.
Only
that's
a couple
music.
million.
That's music
news now.
But go ahead.
The shoot was for USA Today and was conducted by photographer Robert Hanashiro. He posted a video of the whole thing from the bare room to the final mobile studio setup. The tough part was that he had to film an interview directly after with the same setup and room, since there was really no room to set up something separate on the side, tiny hotel room kind of thing. The resulting images are on the website along with the full video. Now, my question is, what do you think of the actual images?
They suck.
Because they look like they weren't processed at all. From what I saw,
they're just basic snapshots in front of a muslin. The background is called a muslin background, which it was a nice color.
It was a nice color.
It just felt like what? Who cares? So it was done in a hotel room. Who cares? Like, is that the story?
That is the awesome story that I bring to you this week.
No, I'm just saying.
Story of the week.
That the story? Like the photos are just portraits. They weren't like Pharrell doing something. It was just Pharrell looking at the camera. It just didn't. They're okay. They're fine for what they are.
I also want. He only posted 4 photos. I wonder if he had a time restraint. Like, you have 1 minute with the artist.
I had
blah,
2
blah, blah.
minutes with Kanye West.
I thought he only had like a 3-hour setup time too to get the hotel room and set up and do everything else. I thought he was on some
time constraint.
I
just read that he had 90 minutes to set up.
Okay, that's what it was.
I mean, I could be getting that part wrong, but
look, I shot Kanye West in 2 minutes with John Legend back in the day.
Well, that was before Kanye West was
Kanye West. He was Kanye West.
Was he still arrogant?
He was. I mean, I didn't really talk to him very long. All he said to me was, "Yo, can I bring in my boy Johnny?" and then so I was like, "Yeah, all right."
Yo,
and this
Jay Ledge.
This was before Johnny Legend was anything.
Yeah.
And Johnny Legend's amazing.
Didn't he have like a mini fro then too?
No. He just had the same haircut as he had back then. But then it was Kanye and Johnny Legend in my photo, and there actually is an American flag up in the corner.
That's a great picture, by the way. That's one of my favorite ones that you ever
I
took.
waited in the rain at the Electric Factory without a pass.
Wait, where did you take it at?
In the Electric Factory in one of the rooms on the side.
Oh, wow.
One of the main, you know where all those painted pipes are now?
Yes.
On the left?
Yeah.
Directly across from that, one of those rooms. I carried with me my white lightnings, and I had one stand and one umbrella. I stood outside, knocked on the door, and talked to the security guard. I said, yeah, I'm like to take photos. And they brought me the tour manager. I started talking to the tour manager. I'm like, I'd like to get these photos for Rolling Stone. And
so you had nothing set up prior?
No, nothing. I was and it was raining, and I just stood with an umbrella for about 3 hours outside till he said, all right, we're going to do this. So come on in, get set up. And then Kanye's crew came in, and they brought Kanye into the room. And then Kanye jumped out of the room after I took a picture. And then he's like, I want to bring Johnny in. And they brought Johnny in.
What year was this?
I think it was I had the D2H. So it's probably 2003-ish or 4.
So like right before he really blew up.
It was after the first album came out, which was amazing.
Yeah.
So he was on the way to blow up.
College Dropout, I guess the album was called. But
no, it was High School Dropout.
It was High School?
Yeah.
I thought it was college.
No, that's the second album.
Oh, I thought that was the first album.
I'm pretty sure it's High School Dropout, and then it was College Dropout.
Well, it makes sense, yeah.
Followed by Auto-Tune, 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 and Auto-Tune.
T-Pain.
Were you raising your hand again?
I don't think so, no.
All right.
Oh, where was I? Okay, so that story's over. So this is pretty cool. Some photographers captured 8K video with a Nikon D800, which they're calling a quick lapse. Now, it's not exactly a time lapse, but it's not technically a video, so it's kind of right in between, hence their new term.
Quidio,
that's a good one. Here's what they did. They captured 36.3 megapixel stills, aka 8K, 12-bit raw images in burst mode.
Why not 14-bit?
I don't know. That's what I was wondering, too. Maybe they can't do burst mode with 14-bit, like 5 frames per second. Anyway, they shot 5 frames per second. They then imported them into After Effects, where they added stabilization, perspective control, and time remapping, which automatically adds in between frames to give the appearance of like a smoother real-time video. Is this story interesting to you, Jared?
I've been going since 8. I got up at 7 this morning.
I don't blame you.
And we filmed from 9:30 to 6:30. That's 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 hours with a little bit in the middle for lunch.
Yeah, when I first, I didn't think we were going to do RAWtalk this week.
No, we're good.
Yeah, all right.
I'm good.
All right. You up?
I'm up. Todd's the one you always have to worry about being up.
So they ended up shooting over 50,000 raw stills for their latest quick lapse, which took their computer a full 2 weeks at 24 hours a day to export via Lightroom.
How many weeks?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Let's see. Where was I? Okay, so then...
By the way, do you see that drawing on the board at the top?
Yes. Yeah, do not show anyone at home that drawing because it's really... You Snapchatted some of it today. But,
I did.
But not the full
drawing.
No,
I didn't do that part of it. I did that part.
Waiting for... Yeah.
No, I'm not showing that.
So anyway, it took them 2 weeks at 24 hours a day to export via Lightroom and then brought it into After Effects, making the video adjustments, which then took them another 2 weeks. They say the downside of all of this is that it absolutely takes a long time, obviously, and that if you have motion in the frame, it could ruin the shot. Now, one downside for me is that there's nothing that supports 8K. It's like, why even do it? At least do 4K. There's stuff that supports that.
And it would only take 2 weeks total.
And it would only take 2 weeks total, not a month, yeah. But it is a really cool...
Hey, I got it.
Guys, I got you.
All right, next. I'm losing focus.
Interest?
Yeah, in that story.
A man walked around the streets of London with a super long selfie stick.
Yeah, don't even go there. It was actually pretty stupid.
It is kind of stupid, but I wanted to bring it up because it was kind of funny, too, at the same time.
No, I get it.
But he calls it the longest selfie stick in the world, which it definitely wasn't because it was only like 12 to 15 feet long, maybe. Yeah.
They called that he was trolling people because he was making jokes out of it, which is disrespectful.
Isn't his YouTube channel called like Troll Station or something?
I don't know. I don't follow comedy YouTube stuff that does stupid stuff on the street because there's one thing I can't stand is you go on Facebook and you see all these guys doing pranks and then they go into like the ghetto, right? And then they're like, the guy goes into, it could be a white guy, could be a black guy, tries to pick up their pants.
I saw that.
Below their butt.
I saw that.
And so then they get punched and they're like, well, it's just a joke. It's just a joke. It's only a prank. Are you kidding me? And in one of them, they pull the guy's pants and his gun falls out.
Oh my
It's just
God.
like, why would you? I don't think those channels should be banned from YouTube for doing stuff like that because you don't have permission of people to make those videos and somebody's going to get killed.
Anyway, back to this story. Drop the pen. The whole video is on the website. I mean, the thing looks like it's going to literally snap in half, but there could be a longer selfie stick that we might have to do.
Is it just like PVC pipe or something?
It's like a giant...
He just taped a bunch of stuff together.
Of selfie sticks
and he put a
together,
GoPro on the end of it.
Which I guess the way the GoPro literally looked like it was like a
I'm going to make a longer
pole.
one. I'm going to do it.
There you go. Los Angeles will be paying a $50,000 settlement to the 3 photographers who were detained by LA County sheriffs while taking pictures in public places about 4 years ago.
4 years ago, it took?
4 years ago, yeah. The suit claimed that authorities violated the photographer's First and Fourth Amendment rights. They were taking photos of metro rail turnstiles, oil refineries, and traffic near a courthouse. As part of the settlement, the city will also educate its officers specifically on interacting with photographers or members of the public who are taking photos in public places. Now, the training will be provided through a newsletter and will be given to all the deputies assigned to patrol. It will state that the public has a First Amendment right to observe, take photographs, and record video in any public place where they are lawfully present. Deputies are warned against interfering, threatening, intimidating, blocking, or otherwise discouraging photographers unless they are specifically violating a law.
Here's the thing. If anybody ever comes up to you, cop, authority figure, or something like that, and questions what you're doing, don't be a dick. All right, that's not the time to be a dick. If you know your rights, that's perfectly fine, but just have a civil conversation. We had this happen to us when the first shoot that you did with me years ago.
Literally the first shoot, yeah.
I wish we were still rolling to hear the conversation because they actually had their facts wrong. And all I said to them when they said, you can't shoot here, was, we're almost done. Is it okay if we finish what we're doing and then pack up? Because I wasn't fully educated on what I could do or couldn't do there. So
you were very respectable, yeah.
Respectful.
Respectful.
That's the word that you always tell me to tell you about.
Respectable?
I don't think respectable is a word.
Is that not a word?
It's a word.
Respectable?
That was like a respectable thing that you did.
Yeah,
Google that.
I feel like
Google
I said that okay.
Respectful.
I don't know.
I was very respectful.
I made it up.
What about Six Flags?
I was very respectable.
I'm asking. I'm just bringing it up. I'm not saying you weren't.
I was very respectful.
No, I said respectable. You missed
did you
that
say
part?
respectable?
Yeah.
I didn't even see that.
Anyway, just be respectful of the cops. Now, if they're totally wrong, I would leave my camera rolling at all time. But don't be a dick.
Respectable is a word.
Boom!
Bammy wham!
Drop the paper.
Let's go. Next photo news story.
Oh, no, I get something right. Deputies are also forbidden from asking people to show or delete any photo without a warrant under any circumstances, which I'm sure most of you guys know that already. But they're going to, I guess, tell the deputies that as well.
So here's another thing. If anybody ever asks, like, they can't grab your camera. They can't say, we need to take your camera for evidence. Really?
Well, I don't know. Can they, though, with that?
I don't
If you were doing something illegal.
I feel like if there's evidence on there, they probably can take it.
They can request it, but you can give them a card, or I will supply you with the images, but I'm not giving you my camera. But
yeah, I mean,
saw
you
that
still
happen.
have to. Yeah, you still have to say yes. Yeah,
I don't know if I say yes, but here's a way around it. Have two cards in the camera.
that is true. That is very true. Last story, I believe.
About time.
Production duo Film Spectacle released a new time lapse taking you on a tour of Austria, your favorite country, right? You always tell me. You always talk
Austin?
about that. Austria, that took them 2 years to shoot and features 5 terabytes of photos. It's kind of like that Dubai hyperlapse that we saw a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
Now, lots of Foley, sound effects, zooming in and out motions, taking you throughout the whole country. Really, really good stuff. Gear used was the Dynamic Perception Stage 1 motorized slider, the Emotimo TB3.
We have an Emotimo.
We do, and we recently unboxed it, which will be out somewhat
Did you
soon,
edit
I
it
guess.
yet?
Yeah, that's done. That's up.
Oh. See, Steven's been editing while I've been filming.
Yeah, there's going to be like 6 new unboxings
Oh, that
that
sucks.
we have. Okay.
Well, people are gonna be like, "Oh, you do is unbox stuff." Oh,
Well, no, I mean, you
know what they're
spread
gonna
them
be?
out the right way.
They're gonna be like, "These are all advertisements. They're paying you to do this."
That does not happen, by the way.
Jesus, they're not paying us to
wanna
make those
clear
videos.
that up.
No, that is just it.
And half the time we get this as literally just rented gear kind of thing.
Do you know
We
what
just get to
somebody?
keep it
Yeah,
for a little bit.
Well, like the Sennheiser mics. You know
Yeah.
what somebody said?
What?
Somebody left on the Digi Richie video that we filmed for how to calibrate your monitor.
What'd they say?
They said, "I'm getting tired of Jared's videos. It seems like it's just QVC where he's trying to sell you something." We made the video and it said, how to color calibrate your monitor. In this video, we're using the Color Monkey. There's more expensive, there's less expensive, and they're like, "You're getting paid for this." Like, what were we selling in that?
That's what I'm saying.
What I said in that is there's plenty of companies that make color calibrators. They have cheaper ones. They have more expensive ones. In this case, we're just using this one because that's what we have.
Well, and I feel like that's kind of like the industry standard, or at least like the more prosumer standard.
Well, the Color Monkey is
That's
definitely
racist.
The Color Monkey, yeah. It's what it's called.
Just kidding.
It's like a standard.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the big calibrators for to buy. At least it's not too expensive.
That's like $179 for the version that we use.
It's kind of like the standard. So that's why I felt like it was right to start there.
Right, and companies do send us gear. As we're going to see in Gear of the Week, a company went nuts and sent me a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't ask for. From time to time, we ask for things like the Emotomo. We asked for that because we want to start using it. Yeah. And the thing is, I understand the position I'm in, and companies understand the position I'm in. There's companies that send gear that we never talk about because it sucks. It sucks or I don't like it, right? So why would we talk about it? But if there's something that we use or that could benefit us, like we can use the Emotomo for RAWtalk, or
that's what we want to do,
it for long-term, we can use it, then if they're going to go ahead out on a limb and send us a $1,500 product, then we're going to talk about it, and that gives them something, it gives us something, and it makes people at home aware of it and how to properly use it. Yeah. I mean, this is how the process works. It's like saying this show's brought to you by Solo Cups because I have a Solo Cup here. I don't know Solo Cup, all right? Actually, these aren't even Solo Cups. These are the off-brand BJs.
But clearly the I Shoot Raw version.
Do you know why I buy the Berkeley and Jensen Solo Cups?
I Shoot Raw?
They're less expensive, and they're freaking red cups.
Why do you say Berkeley and Jensen and not just BJ's?
Oh, because that's what Berkeley and Jensen stands for.
You mean BJ's stands for Berkeley and Jensen?
Yeah, BJ Wholesale. But you know what's funny? Every time I go to BJ's, I have to stop at Dick's. It's in the same. It's in the same facility. Seriously,
shopping center.
Well, no, I go to Dick's. I bought for what's this? The Pocket Jib
right next to each other.
Pocket Jib Pro. I went ahead and bought those weights. They're like $1 a pound. All right, photo news because we gotta get to Todd's interview.
Anyway, getting back to this, I don't even know where I left off at. So it's like that Dubai hyperlapse I was talking about. The gear used was that Emotomo TB3 for motion control, a pocket slider, a Canon 5D.
Wait, hold on. Did you hear that? Emotomo just sent me a check. They didn't actually send me a check.
Canon 5D Mark II, 2 Canon 6Ds, a Canon 600D, and a collection of a bunch of lenses. Beautiful stuff, though. Definitely a must-see for you guys to check out. This is probably my favorite video for this week.
Oh, Steven, thanks. Is that all in photo news?
That's all, Jared.
All right, so coming up right now, we have an interview with Todd Wolfe. He talks about, we discuss what we've been filming here, why we are sitting here. He also dives down a little deeper.
Dives down?
It goes down deeper. I mean, digs down. I guess that's the same. They've been keeping track of that, how many times I say that during the guide. But he talks about using audio blocks and video blocks. It wasn't actually a plug part, but I turned it into a plug because why not mention it? But he talks about how he used that for the game show because it's really important. But it's a pretty cool discussion to hear about what the video guide is about, how it came about, who he made it for, when we think it's going to be out, and all of that good stuff. So let's get to that interview right now. Hey, Todd.
Hi, Jared.
I guess it's been a long week so far?
The longest.
No, I think the first time we did the video guide, it was the longest.
Well, that was because it was over the course of 6 months.
Well, it was. We did like 3 days, and then we did 4 days, and it was insane. So why don't I fill people in at home on what we've been doing for the past, 4 days in a row?
Go ahead, fill in the holes.
We started filming the Fronos Photo Guide to video editing. And what you're looking at right now is the set of it, which we've already talked about earlier when we started the show. But I figured I'd have you on, being that this is a special show, because it's different. So are you enjoying the filming so far?
So far, so good. The crew has dealt with all the ups and downs very well.
Well, I gotta say that our guy that sits on this camera needs to stop playing with his phone while recording and telling us that he's working right.
That's amazing.
The guy with the Fu Manchu, for anybody that's been watching on Snapchat, he's the guy we're talking about. He's very good at what he does, by the way. So, what is it? Do you want me to tell what the guide's about? I'll tell what the guide's about.
Sure, have at it, man.
It's the Fronos Photo Guide to editing. No, Fronos Photo Guide to video editing. The reason it's called that is because when we do a guide to photo editing, then we'll be doing a guide to photo editing. It just made sense.
It'll be different. It'll be photos instead of video.
Right, so I asked Todd to come on board because we did the Fronos Photo Guide to DSLR video, and we wanted at the same time to try to release a editing guide, but it just wasn't going to work. We didn't have enough time because we wanted to, at first I thought it would be a supplement, and then it ended up being like, well, you know what, this thing's, blah. It's a guide. It's a guide unto itself.
It is.
So, what are some things that we're touching on? Other than each other?
Everything. It was massive, and that's why we did not do it right on the tail end of shooting the other guides, just because it was way too much. The first guide was 6 hours running time. This one could very well be 6 hours as well.
Yeah, I mean, so the whole point to this guide is that we do the educational stuff up front so you get familiar with terminology. And honestly, when Todd and I were putting together this outline, or I should say Todd was putting together the outline for me.
Thank you for correcting that.
I really didn't have anything to do with it early because Todd was designing this for me.
Yeah.
He based it off of somebody like me who shoots but doesn't really edit. You know, I can chop things up in iMovie or I can just do the basics, but there's no rhyme or reason. I don't know the mentality behind a proper edit, and that's where you come into play because you've been able to take raw footage that I've sent you from South by Southwest for a week where I toured with a band and gave you no direction at all, and you came out with an amazing video edit.
Yeah, no, it goes really down to knowing all the ins and outs of all different types of techniques and methods. And when we did, in doing the guide, we are pretty adamant that it's not about the button pressing, it doesn't matter about the program you're using, because they all basically do the same thing, but it's really the decisions that you make and how to edit certain ways that really help to separate you from other editors.
Well, yeah, and with editing, I think a lot of people out here are starting to shoot video, and then it really helps if you can edit your own video.
Sure.
That helps you because you don't have to send it out to somebody else. But honestly, the way that I started editing up front when I first started shooting video was, well, I did one take, so that all I had to do was chop the beginning and chop the end, and that's pretty much all I could do.
Sure.
But I did that because anytime you try to start something like this, where it's a lot of video, every day I'm putting out something, and who was going to edit it for me? If I sent it to somebody else, one, it would have cost me money and I couldn't afford it, and two, I'd have to wait for them to work on their time. So if you learn editing on your time, you're in control.
Well, the reason I really started to learn editing on my own is because I wanted to see things through all the way. Like, I had an idea, I wanted to shoot it and get it together, and then I wanted to edit it exactly the way I saw it, and I didn't want to have to translate it through somebody else. So it was more selfish reasons for me. I was like, damn it, it's my vision and I'm the best and I'm going to see it through. So that's kind of a trial by fire.
Well, you do a great job editing. I mean, obviously that's why we bring you in.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Mm-hmm. Any funny things happened so far this week that you can talk about?
Oh.
Your favorite new search term on Pornhub.com?
I mean, my favorite thing is probably the daily breakdown of you.
I haven't broken down once.
That is an absolute lie.
Well, explain this, Todd.
I don't even know what we're doing. I don't even know if this makes any sense.
How is this going to cut together?
How is this going to cut together? Oh, I don't know, Jared. Like the last 3 that people seem to enjoy. Maybe that way.
But the thing is, the way that you have to shoot it, we have 3 cameras, which is great this time because we can do full takes and not have to reverse one camera to the other side to get my close-up or your close-up. But still, we have to stop and then think about what we're talking about and then make sure we hit things. It's not scripted out, but we have an outline to follow to make sure we hit those important points, because when you're hitting terminologies, you have to make sure you hit them so you're not wrong. And what's funny is we've got 5 people on the other side of the cameras. 3 camera guys, we've got an audio guy, and then we've got Dan who does basically every other job, that if we say something wrong, they'll be like, excuse me, you need to go back and correct that.
They're like, no, you said that absolutely wrong.
Yeah, but, funny, I mean, there's a lot of fun. I think I take the whole thing too serious.
I mean, you have to take the production of this scale serious, but at the same time, we planned it out a long time ago, and there's a lot of moving parts. I would also say the extra moving part of having to deal with a computer and a monitor and actually demonstrating something in the virtual space is an added thing that we've never done before.
Sure.
So I think that kind of adds to the strain of the production.
Well, speaking of strain, we didn't order this thing until a couple hours before we needed it, because at first we were going to shoot against this wall, which you can probably see in the what's that thing called? The GoPro angle. I'm looking at Steven, I don't know. Yeah, we were going to shoot against the Sony wall, but the problem is it looked too boardroomish. It looked terrible. It looked like we were just 2 guys, for lack of a better word, at a, Scott Kelby's place, except without a background. It looked like a boardroom, and it just didn't work. And then if we were going to sit in chairs, I bought these freaking Herman Miller chairs for us to use, and then we decided not to use them for the first part, which I think worked out much better because it allowed us the freedom to move.
It gave you energy. I think you have better energy when you're up and about and flailing around and losing your mind.
I did not lose my mind.
Sure. No, that only happens once a day, but not while we're shooting.
No, because I'm the one that, we have to constantly tell you up. But I could be as pissed off as anything, but when it's my turn to emote on camera, I'm good.
But as soon as it cuts, Christian Bale.
No! Who do you think you are, la-di-da? No! Are you raising your hand? He does. Doesn't it look like he's raising his hand when he does that?
Oh, he stretches at the most inopportune times.
And then he looks on both sides of the camera. I'm like, yes?
You want something? No.
Oh, no, I'm just stretching. Good for you.
La-di-da. Do I stretch when you...
So we got that. Who do you think this guide's for? If you had to put, who's it for?
Oh, I think beginners, intermediates. I think if you're familiar with editing and some of the terminology early on, you might be familiar with, but I think there's going to be a lot of things as we move forward and we got into the advanced stuff and the hands-on stuff.
Hands-on, Todd.
Hands-on?
Not hands-off.
Hands-off. Hands-on stuff where, I'm going to let you see how I edit. I do get emails and comments. People are like, how'd you do that? How'd you do that? Well, you can watch me do it. I'm just going to do it.
Yeah, that's the point of the guide. When we set out to make something, or my whole mentality behind, one, Frono's photo, and two, all of the guides that I've done, is it's to make it fun and informative like everything else.
Sure.
But also to not make it about button pushing.
Absolutely.
To make it about mentality and the beginner aspect. We hammer home for the first part of the guide, again, about the beginner aspect. If you understand the fundamentals, that allows us to move into the advanced techniques where even if you've been editing before, if you pick up, like Steven over here is going to probably watch the guide and pick up tips because it may not be something that he's seen before. You may do something new that saves him a lot of time.
There are a lot of things that I do and that I've picked up over the course of the years that I didn't even know what they were called.
Well, it's true, because a lot of things when you're not taught formally in a school where you just pick it up and then you realize, oh, I've been doing that all along.
Well, my buddy Dan, he went to film school, and he would say, oh, I love how you do X, Y, Z type of cuts. And
you're like, what's that?
What are you talking about? He's like, you do it all the time. I was like, all right, cool. So when we were putting together this guide, I literally had to go back around and be like, okay, now what should I call these techniques? What do people call these techniques?
Sure.
And really wanted to make it, but at the same time, I didn't want it to be too technical. I wanted everybody to be able to come in and be like, oh, okay, I get that, I follow it.
Well, you made it for me. And when we're going through this, I sit there and ask legitimate questions as you're editing. I'm like, well, they're legitimate to me. But,
sure, they're legitimate.
But I sit there, I'm like, so why are you doing that? Like, oh, so earlier when you talked about an L cut or a J cut or a cross cut or all the different types of cuts that we talked about, I was like, oh, that makes sense. That's what a jump cut is. It's not the same as just a, what was the ping-ponging one?
Oh, ping-ponging was with dialogue we were talking about.
Right, but yeah, what kind of cut were they? The back and forth ones.
Oh, with a ping-pong, it was a match cut.
Right, well, there wasn't match cuts.
You're talking about the ping pong table?
No, not the ping pong table.
Actually ping ponging.
The one where you have two cars racing and you go from one car to the other car to back to the other car.
Cross cutting.
Oh, yeah, we were talking about cross cutting, and I was like, well, is that cross cut a jump cut? And he's like, well, no. And then he said something. And I was like, oh, that makes sense because a jump cut would be me running to the, say I'm running to the door and I get to the hallway, and then a jump cut would be I'm further down the hall. And then the next jump cut would be I'm at the door, and the next jump cut is you're in the door. And then that totally makes, it's little things like that make total sense.
And it's just a matter of taking it one step at a time. So somebody like yourself that's got a rudimentary knowledge of editing can follow along from the beginning.
Sounds good? No, it is rudimentary. Great. But it's not just rudimentary, but even I think I saw some people talking about advanced technique, or people that are advanced editors saying they'll still pick this up. One, to support the website, because this is a main way to support it.
Sure.
If you like seeing all this stuff keep happening, people buying this guide help fund all the projects that we do and to keep us free from most of the sponsors and advertisers. Because you don't know how many people I turn down every day that want to just throw money for some BS project.
Sure. And I think even a more advanced editor could watch this and walk away with something because they're going to see me utilize a certain technique that they may not utilize all the time. They're familiar with. They're like, oh, you know what? I should try that within my editing technique.
All right, so enough with the guide.
Sure.
We still have to finish it up. We have a couple more days left of filming, which is cool.
Thank God.
I just hope, I hope it's only 2 more days and get it done. I think, hopefully we can get through everything pretty clean.
And then I have to edit the editing guide.
Then you do have to editing. And hopefully it's much easier. So speaking of editing, you did the editing on the game show.
Yeah, that was fun.
Man, when I saw that, I didn't even give you any direction. You're like, I got it. And when Todd says he's got it, I kind of let him do his thing now.
Let the sleeping bear lie.
But the thing was, when I saw that, I wanted to know what would it have been like if you didn't have all of the extra audio. If you didn't have all the extra audio and you didn't have extra video clips, I mean, what would it have sounded like?
Oh, it would have been super boring. It was just 2 dudes dressed ridiculously.
And Maria. Looking wonderful. I mean, that would have been fine, regardless. And by the way, that dress was purple.
Yeah. And it'd been us standing in front of a gold screen spinning a wheel, and it wouldn't have, I'm sure it would have been somewhat exciting, but...
Yeah, we'll talk about how you ended up getting all the extra audio. I mean, this is a point, we are going to talk about audio blocks and video blocks because it applies here. That anybody that saw that video, if we didn't have audio blocks and video blocks in there, it would have just, and we're going to make a separate video explaining this, where we're going to play the original audio, and hopefully you're going to hear what it sounds like. First, what Todd did with graphics and the audio. So how did you find the audio?
Oh, dude, it was crazy. I just went in there and I was like, well, let me type in game show. Game show. 15 clips came up. I rolled over a couple of them and I was like, oh my Lord, that's absolutely amazing and super cheesy. I cannot wait to edit this. And I couldn't stop then at that point. That's why when you're texting me, I was like, it's fine, shut up. And I was just off to the races at that point because it made it so much more fun to me.
Yeah.
Because it was the vision that I kind of saw for it, and the music was perfect. So I felt lucky that I had audio blocks there for that.
So what'd you get from video blocks?
Video blocks, when you see like the sparkles flying at the screen,
the stars,
and the stars falling from the sky, all the little cheesy transitional stuff that would have gone with a game show back in the day.
Did you get the extra confetti from there?
Yeah. I just pulled out the alpha channel on it, and there it goes.
And so we're pretty much going to go over this stuff in the video guide as well, aren't we?
Yeah.
Now, did you use anything from graphic stock?
Did I use anything from graphic
Or did I not give
stock?
you your login for that yet?
I don't think I pulled anything from graphic stock, and I don't know if I would have had any use for it, except for maybe the title card. But I still pulled something from video blocks because I wanted a moving background with the stars flying behind the words.
Yeah.
So that was from video blocks as well.
So it's funny, that combination worked extremely well.
Yeah.
And we talked about this earlier in this week's show plug, but if you want to get audio blocks or video blocks, you can get a 7-day free trial. Go to audioblocks.com/go/fro, videoblocks.com/go/fro, and graphicstock.com/go/fro. And that gives you a 7-day, they call it a 7-day free trial. I don't exactly call it free when you type in your credit card, but you type in your credit card and they don't charge you until after the 7 days. But like I've said before, use the 7 days, or maybe use 5 of the 7 days, and then go ahead and cancel it. And after you cancel it, they're going to send you an email that says, hey, we'd love for you to sign up for a year. Why don't we give it to you for $99 instead of $79 a month? Look, video blocks, audio blocks, graphic stock, really cool company. I can't wait. I think we're going to go down to Virginia, which is where their headquarters is at some point, and do a RAWtalk there, because the founder of it did, the story behind it is pretty awesome. I'll give you a quick overview. After high school, he started traveling the country. And in order to pay for his travels from one town, one city to the next city to get his plane tickets, he was selling stock video. And so he came out of school with all this stock, he finished with all this stock footage, and he's like, I should start something. He basically paid his way around the country by making stock footage and selling it, and realized that there's not a lot of places to get stock video. Why don't I create something? And so he did.
Brilliant.
Anyway, so that's the little story right there. But definitely, guys, audio blocks and video blocks, they've really helped us out funding certain things, especially going to NAB. They're basically paying for Todd, me, and Steven to go. And the fun that we're going to have there is basically because of them. And so that's why we asked you to at least check them out. And the thing is, it's pretty much a no-brainer. Todd's been using it for a couple of years. I've been using it, well, Steven uses, I don't do the editing. Steven's been using it for the last year and a half at this point, and then we reached out to them, we're like, let's work together because we love it, and we think that our readers would love it as well.
I've got nothing else to add to that. That sounds wonderful.
You know, I wish we could just do the guide like this. Me just talking.
You like to talk, don't you?
I do, you know?
You really, really do.
Fun fact, my parents were worried that I wasn't going to talk or I was developmentally challenged because I didn't talk until much older than most kids.
Well, it's the opposite. You're developmentally challenged and you talk a lot.
Thanks, Todd.
You're welcome, Jerry.
But they were worried, and then when I started talking, they're like, when's he going to shut up?
Oh, trust me. Oh, I know how it feels.
That's so mean. Anything you want to say before we kick you off and get started, you know, finish up our show here?
No, the video guide is going very, very well, and I think, you know, look, as soon as we drop the other guide, people were like, where's the editing guide? Where's an editing guide? Here it is, we're shooting it. It'll take a little bit of time to turn it around, and I think with what we've got so far, I think it's just going to be, I think it's going to be just as powerful as the other guides in helping people to take everything they do to the next level, because I've been very proud of the things that I've seen people do with the DSLR video guide.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited to see what people do with that combined with the editing guide. And it's like being a proud papa when I see people send me stuff and I'm just like, that looks amazing.
Yeah, no, that's definitely really cool. I mean, we've seen some videos that people have sent into the membership program that we have for people that bought the Frontless Photo Guide to DSLR Video. There is a membership option where they can converse back and forth with us, and send in their stuff for critique. Yeah, so it's a mentorship. And we saw the one with the guy at the bakery and showing that those 30-second vignettes. And now recently the guy with the cooking with Barbara.
I think it's his grandmother.
Pasta fagioli.
Oh, it was wonderful.
It's not as good as that cooking with in the ghetto with that other woman.
That's fun as well. But I thought the grandmother was really cute, and just watching the techniques he was using, I was like, man, people really pay attention.
Right, and that's the payoff there. So when do you have an expected time that you think you'll be done editing?
I mean, something like this. I mean, look, a feature film is going to take you a few months, 2-3 months to cut. So this might be
quicker.
This might be somewhere in that time range. Even, I mean, if it's 6 hours. I see you calculating already. I know you want it. Look,
I have a target date, and if you don't hit it, you're fired.
I want it out of my hands as soon as possible. So, you know, hopefully the summer.
Well, no, it's gonna be the summer. No, hopefully.
See, this is what I deal with. Hopefully the summer. No, it's gonna be the summer.
Coming soon.
Okay. Coming soon.
All right, Todd. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me, man.
I'll see you bright and early.
I'll see you tomorrow morning
for the next day of the shoot, and we'll be right back to do the rest of the show. So that was the interview with Todd. I sent him home to go rest, because he has to come back, and he's usually here at 8 or 8:30 in the morning.
Isn't he the first one here?
He's always the first one here because he drops off his daughter. Yeah, we're the first. I mean, I'm here, but I'm sleeping usually until he calls. I redid my hair this morning because it needed to be redone.
Fresh.
Yeah. So that's cool. I mean, this guide is going to be really good. He put it together for somebody like me. And I am learning stuff as we go along, because that's the point. I'm starting to get the terminologies down, and now tomorrow we start moving into the real world editing, which is what I've been waiting to get to, because you actually do the real world edits.
So he has everything on the timeline. You're actually going to start cutting and everything.
He's going to. It's not on the timeline. He's going to say we're going to do the music video. He's going to from scratch cut the music video. So he's going to organize the footage so people understand, because we started with organization being really important.
Organizing, importing, all that.
Yeah, well, it's already imported. Yeah, getting it into the program, doing multicam, getting that set up, syncing audio, doing crosscuts, which dissolves to use, which fades to use, when you use this, when you don't use that, how to do a jump, when are jump cuts good, when does this work? And so we're doing 4 different edits that are all unique. So like there's the EPK, there's the music video, there's the thing with Maria and the other guy doing the ring finger, and then there's my YouTube video. So it's a bunch of different things to learn to edit. And if you can do that, you should be able to edit your own stuff without a problem.
So was there a lot more in depth with editing than you first thought?
We haven't gotten to that point yet.
Yeah.
We had to hit the basics.
It's already like your mind like blown.
My mind's not blown because I don't see it completed.
Yeah.
I have to do it in bits and pieces.
You need to actually go watch the guide after.
Do you don't know how many times Todd looks at me and goes, editing. He's like, I will make this look good in editing.
He does.
Because
every time.
He does make it look good in editing. So did you see that video I made this morning?
The one where Hing was on the crane?
Well,
the pocket
Pocket Jib Pro.
Pocket Jib Pro.
Well, from Kessler.
Kessler.
Kessler doesn't cut us. Hey, did you hear that?
Not Kessler.
No, did you hear that?
Kessler. What?
Oh, Kessler just sent me a check.
Today on QVC, we're selling the Kessler Pocket Jib Pro.
The Pocket Jib Pro is an unbelievable item. Now, don't forget that you can get new weights on the end of it. Now, we used a 100mm ball head socket. It could be yours today on FlexPay for 4 easy payments of $329.99.96.
It has that Hercules head too, right? I heard good things about that.
Hercules head.
Hercules, he's strong.
Yeah, so anyway, Hercules. The jib did do some of that movement stuff. That's because Hing hit something, but I didn't edit it. I said, we're going to do this.
And I texted you that. You're like, did you see the video? I'm like, yeah, but you put it up
There
raw.
was 2 like...
Well, there were 2 jib because he hit the monitor by accident.
I figured that's what he hit.
Because we moved it anyway.
I mean, it was a take for Facebook. It's whatever.
Right. But that really got me thinking how I would love to do maybe something in the morning. You know, have something where I do a news update, you know?
Well, if you had a studio.
When I get a studio,
we could do that.
Which I'm actively seeking to find something to do a studio, it's going to be good. Because then we could leave RAWtalk set up over here. We could be like, this is where I'm going to do news over here.
Dude,
this is where
perfect. Bring back photo news.
Well, I mean, I think I want to do the news the way I sat there this morning and do one thing my way.
Ouch.
Sorry.
We can do QVC.
Yeah, we could just. I mean, we'll come up with something for you. I loved how it felt this morning. I covered a bunch of different topics, and boom,
it was excellent.
Thank you.
Not as good as my photo news.
Your photo news?
We still got to do it now. Can I be the outtake guy every time and come in the background and do random stuff?
If you want. But I don't know. It just felt really natural this morning with the jib. Welcome, you know, Jared Poland.
What jibs do, man.
But I could see it, and then I could see the monitor, myself.
Jibs, that's production.
Right,
that's
and the lights
studio.
and the desk and the this in the background added. So it felt real.
What? Now, did you find yourself looking at the monitor more than the actual lens?
No.
No.
I think I had him turn it, but when he was setting it up, I was approving it, and then I'm like, okay, turn the monitor so I'm not distracted by it.
Okay, yeah, because I was gonna say I feel like you would be distracted.
Well, it's just like when you're on those other shows and they've got a big monitor off to the side and they're always looking at it.
Yeah,
I can't stand that.
Anyway, I think it's Gear of the Week time, right?
Gear of the Week time, Sutter. First, give me the yellow thing.
Big yellow thing, submarine
from under the table.
So this with
your hair on it,
my hair on it. This is the Shogun. We talked about it last week, but it was in a black case. This is how they're officially selling the Atomos Shogun. It comes in a yellow case. We don't need to take it out again this time, but it's the only way that you could do 4K. Speaking of checks, it just cleared.
Cha-ching!
Actually, Atomos does send a check because they do sponsor RAWtalk. They do. They're one of those. But we actually used the Atomos before they started paying us.
So can we like sell the black case since it's so rare?
No, that has to be sent back. I have to send that back to them. But it's really nice having them on our side. Because, you know, here, take this away. I have a story.
Well, plus they have so many ninjas by our side. If you ever need them for fight.
Have, on the GoPro, you can see this Atomos over here. Get out of the way, Sutter. Jeez. I know. No, I was kidding. I was kidding. No, that's not what I was talking about. But I see it on the GoPro. So Hing brought in that big box that's sitting under there. That's Hing's recording setup. Well, that's how he does like recording to something.
That's that's like the radio station.
He was having trouble getting that to work. And I'm like, you going to get it to work? He's like, yeah, it's all good, baby. I'm like, well, that sounds like you're not going to get it to work. And so he's like, it's not working through HDMI. The colors were all messed up. I'm like, can we just use the Atomos? We'll go to the Atomos and then go from the laptop to the Atomos and from the Atomos to the TV, which is what we're going right now is laptop to TV because the Atomos isn't on. And it worked. And I was like, well, that's much simpler than your box over there. Anyway, next Gear of the Week.
Super small compared to that box.
It is super small compared to that box.
I can put the Atomos in my pocket pretty much.
He's like, that doesn't do SDI. I'll start with this. No, give me all of it.
Oh, it's a lot of stuff.
It's a lot of stuff. I've talked about this before. Just give me that whole box.
It's like Christmas.
It is like Christmas. So what's interesting from time to time, so this right here is the Lexar Smart Hub. Smart Hub? Lexar Workflow. What do they call this thing?
I thought
it says Workflow HR2.
I think it's called the Smart Hub.
I thought it used to be called the Smart Hub.
Whatever.
Are you called the Smart Hub?
Not so smart anymore.
No, you're called Thunderbolt. Anyway, this is the Lexar not Smart Hub, HR2. You got one like this for Christmas, but it was the 3.0, the USB 3.0 one.
I did, yes.
Then Lexar announced the Thunderbolt 2 version. I wanted that, so Lexar sent it. And then I talked to them yesterday because I was having an issue with one of the hubs. One of the things wasn't really recognizing, but then we fidgeted it a little bit, and it ended up working.
Oh, it did?
Yeah. Okay. I don't know what happened. I'm going to send it back to them just in case it was either my fault or their fault. But in the meantime, I talked to their head of production or marketing or something like that, and a really nice guy. And I told him, look, we love using this. It's just I'm having this issue. And, of course, it's much easier when, I have a following and they can talk to me directly, and of course they're going to fix something like that. But he ended up sending me, I didn't ask for it, but he sent me 3 more of these. I'm like, I just wanted one to replace the other so I could send it back. He sent 3 of these. He sent us like 6 or 8 more SD card slots because I know you needed more of those.
That's great because I need at least 2 more, yeah.
He sent a box of other goodies. Ooh, I almost knocked over this water if I wasn't paying attention. So here's the card readers, but this one is a CFast card reader. There's almost nothing you can do with a CFast card right now. The only thing that we can use CFast in is the Atomos Ninja Star.
Yep.
That's it.
That's
but this
really
is the CFast card reader that goes into there. This right here, this is a 512 gigabyte module.
See, I love that.
There's I think they sent us 4 of them.
Really?
Yeah, that's like
lots. So we get 2 terabytes pretty much.
I think so. And so basically, you can put one of these in the top of the Smart Hub. You can transfer footage from your card to here and also transfer it to the computer at the same time. So now you have a backup right here that you could carry with you.
See, I wonder how that works. If you have 4 of them, say, do they all
They're
work
all
as
separate.
Separate hard drives?
They're all separate.
Okay.
And this is one of the coolest things. This is the look at that.
Wow.
This is a micro SD card reader, 3 card slots. Anyway, they didn't send us a check for anybody wondering. They sent
sell
me
these on your QVC show.
I think they sent almost $2,000 worth of stuff, and I didn't ask for it. This is the cool. This is cool stuff. This right here.
Holy crap! 2,000 times.
This is a Lexar 64 gigabyte UHS 2, 300 megabytes a second.
Oh my!
64 gigabyte card. We can start using that.
Yeah.
Oh my God! This is a 128 CFast card. 3400X.
They're expensive.
This one is $650.
Wow.
510 megabytes a second. That's ultra fast. A 64 gigabyte one of those, a 32 gigabyte SD card.
These write speeds are just
Look
insane.
at this. He's like, do you use GoPros? He's like, what do you use in it? I'm like, I use SanDisk in my GoPro.
I'm going to send you 20 cards.
I told him I use SanDisk. I use SanDisk.
You do.
I've been using SanDisk for a long time.
I use Lexar.
And you've been using Lexar.
I've always used Lexar.
I'm not gonna lie about that. I've been using SanDisk all along.
Yeah.
Actually, the very first card I had was a 1 gigabyte Lexar CF card. I paid $279 for it, and I know some people that were paying more than that. So this is a 64 gigabyte micro SD card, and it comes with this really small micro SD card slot.
Oh, USB 3, nice.
What is USB 3? There's 2 64s. There's 2 32s.
Oh my God.
There's 2 128s. 128. There's 120 bucks. This stuff's. I didn't ask for this stuff, but we will use it. See, that's the point. They're like, well, maybe if we send him a bunch of stuff, he'll use it and talk about it. Well, that's exactly what ended up happening here.
Wow, this actually includes the SD UHS 2 reader as well.
No, it doesn't.
That's what it says.
Open that.
It says it includes it.
Open that. Unbox that.
I'm unboxing it live on TV.
Let's see what's in it. This isn't TV. This is the internet.
Yeah, that's there.
Oh, snap. Look at that.
Boom.
Oh, my God. That's even... Why do you need to carry anything else around? Like, why do I need to take one of these around? We don't need to pack that anymore. We now have this.
Actually, that's true. We can just bring this.
Because that's faster than using the SD card.
Well, because it's UHS 2.
Right. Oh, my God. That's going to be blazing fast. We should use these for RAWtalk.
Why not?
Well, we better test
I don't know.
them.
I still love the hub, though.
Yeah, I love the hub, but I guess...
Pop them all in and let them all transfer.
I guess we can start using these. That's the joy of when people... Wait a second. UA said... Did you see this? Look at the back of the card. There's extra contacts.
Gold things.
There's extra contacts. I didn't know that's on the new SD cards had extra. Did you know that, Sutter?
I've never
Don't
used
tell me
one
you
of
knew
those.
that. You're full of shit.
I said no.
Oh.
Before you even answer.
I didn't know that... I didn't know that.
I'm not a high roller like you guys. I don't have cool
Hey man,
cards.
I'm not either.
I didn't know. Look at
I
that.
bought all my cards.
I guess this is new style. I didn't know that. Thank you, Lexar guy, for sending this out. Now we know. If you,
He's not your guy, buddy.
he's not your buddy, pal. All right, so that's gear of the week. That's the stuff.
Hey, and if you had an Android phone, you could take the micro SDs and pop them right in the back and expand your memory.
What do they support up to? Is there a limit?
I think every phone's different. I have a 32 in mine. On top of my 16 internal.
Hey guys, we're live on a show here.
I know.
This is great.
I think we're talking about it.
Android?
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I don't know the max. I'm sure every phone's different though.
Okay.
But
Well, interesting news.
Anyway, so this is the inside look of what happens. A lot of companies want to send stuff, and from time to time we say, okay, send stuff. And we're not obligated. I don't promise them anything. I just got off the phone finally with that Epson woman. Remember that
And
Epson woman?
Is she going to give you a big-ass printer?
Well, I asked for a big-ass printer. This is how I laid it down to them. See, I pitch companies a lot of stuff if I want something. I said, I don't want... She's like, can we talk about advertising? Because she thought that's what the call was about. I'm like, I don't want your money. I don't want your money right now. I want your gear. And then maybe if you like what I do with that and it becomes effective, then maybe we could work out an agreement where you sponsor something and then we get money and we promote a product that we personally like. Epson is the name in printing. Canon sent me that one printer, so I made a video about it. Really good Canon printer. Everything's always been Epson. Well, HP and Epson used to be the ones that fought back and forth. So I basically pitched them this. I'm like, send me a big ass printer, like one of those $6,000 ones, and then send me one of
those
the
expensive printers.
It's not. They have 25,000. I asked them.
25,000.
Yeah, but that's for a screen. It's something different.
Holy crap!
They have a printer for T-shirts.
a sublimation printer?
No, they have a T-shirt printer. It does ink. I asked them if I could get one of them. I'm like, by the way, if you ever want somebody to make a cool video with that, I'm sure I could put it to good use. See, this is how we make... People always go, how do you make content? Don't you run out of ideas? You're never going to run out of ideas because there's always new gear coming to talk about. So there's always companies to reach out to and ask for toys. We actually have to cut back on the amount of toys that are showing up.
Yeah, because your back room is getting completely full.
Right, and I don't want to be just like the guy that just unboxes stuff. I want us to actually use the gear that's coming in.
Well, we're slowly getting there. We did the Sennheiser review, unboxing,
and by the way,
Sennheiser
sent us that for 30 days. They sent us the microphone. I still have to send it back. But then on top of that, we ended up buying 2 of those units plus a stick mic that we're going to use in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
So this is now normally the part where we do Wheel of Fro, but being that it's over there and it's too late at night to spin it, and I don't want to piss off my neighbor anymore, being that it's probably 11 o'clock.
Yep.
Do you have to move your cars?
Oh,
dang!
I hope you didn't get tickets. Being that it's late, we should probably wrap it up because it's late and he may be wanting to sleep, and I'm not going to spin the wheel because the wheel is really loud. We'll spin it extra times when we get back into the loft after Chicago, and that's pretty much it. I got to go to bed because I have to get ready to get up and do the filming of the 5th day. I still have my voice.
I have to get up and edit this.
Well, Friday's your edit day.
Friday is my edit day.
So I want to thank you guys who watched on Meerkat. Hopefully it's still running. I don't know if I ran out of space or didn't run out of space. I'm not going to save this. It's probably been going for over 2 hours. Actually, it has been going over 2 hours. I want to thank you guys for watching. It has been a different setup. I want to thank Rode. I want to thank Atomos. And let's thank AudioBlocks, VideoBlocks, and Graphic Stock. You can go to audioblocks.com/go/fro and go/fro for all of the other ones and check out the service to see if it's something for you. That's how... This is how it works. You don't have to use it, but we make you aware of things that we use, and they are a sponsor now. And if you do like it, then check it out. If you don't, it's the same thing with Squarespace. Squarespace.com/fro. If you like it, then please use my code. If you don't like it, use your free trial, and if it doesn't work for you, then it doesn't work for you. It's just all about awareness. So, Sutter, thank you for coming in late tonight.
Sure thing.
Yes,
thank you for coming in late tonight, Steven.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your photo news.
Hope I don't get a ticket.
I hope you didn't get a ticket. You should go down right now as soon as we as soon as we finish doing this, and I'm gonna wrap it up. All right? You okay?
I'm good.
All right, so that's it. That's RAWtalk episode number 124. You can check out FronosPhoto.com/RAWtalk-124 for all the photo news and more. And that is where we're gonna leave it. Jared Polin, FronosPhoto.com. See ya.